Fun fact, I present to libraries every single day of the week, and yet I still may break out in hives at the end of this just because public speaking we're still working on. But thank you guys so much for hopping on here and for taking a look at this webinar. We talked with Tam about 4 or 5 months ago and just kind of told her what we do and why we're partnered with the Iowa Library Association. And she thought this would be a really great just opportunity for us to present to Illinois libraries. That being said, we have worked with quite a few already. So I'll just kind of get started and talk about our company, Midwest Pano, and really just introduce myself as well. So my name's Holly. I am the Director of Operations here at Midwest Pano. So I lead an amazing team of people. I've got Niall, who's going to be speaking with me today, who works almost exclusively with libraries in the Illinois, Missouri, and Iowa areas. And then I've also got Millie, who's doing the slide presentation. She's our marketing director and gets to work with libraries after we have done the photo shoots. And then I've also got Emma in here as well with my communications team. And so I get to manage a great group of people. I've lived in Iowa since 2015. I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio, and I played a college sport. I guess that's just a fun fact for me. And then I've got Niall here presenting with me as well.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Niall, everyone. And so I'm a senior account executive with Midwest Pano. I've been here for about 6 months now, working real closely with Holly and learning everything I can about libraries. It's been an absolutely wonderful experience. I will say I did not know much about libraries in the current day and age before joining the team here, but it is just absolutely amazing, all of the incredible things you guys are doing. And so I'm able to just build relations with either library directors or marketing directors and really just get them all the information that they need and help set everything up and just ensure complete satisfaction about this project.
All right. Thank you, Niall. Yeah, having Niall on my team has been amazing. And so just a little bit of history about our company. I'm sure you guys are wondering, what is Midwest Pano? What does Pano even stand for? No, we don't tune pianos. We have been asked though. So panoramic, P-A-N-O is kind of that last word in our company. And so we are based here out of the central Iowa. If anyone's familiar with the Iowa State University, if you stick a pin in the middle of the map of Iowa, you'll probably nick me. And so we are located out here. Our corporate kind of headquarters is in a very small town of 3,000 people called Story City, Iowa. But what sets us apart is that we've got photographers and resources here that are spread out all across the Midwest and even all the way down to like the Jacksonville, Florida area. So we can work with libraries and different education agencies, different sorts of nonprofits all across the country. And so how that kind of came to be, panoramic photography has been around, I think, a lot longer than people think. So back in 2009, it all starts with my boss, Vince Sabatino. He is a panoramic photographer, and what that means is that he knows how to take still image photos and then moderate those images together to create a really beautiful virtual tour that you can publish online. And so back in 2009, before really Google Maps and Street View had even started getting underway, Vince was using Adobe Flash technology, and he owned his own company. It composed of account executives across the world, all working remotely and working in different states across the US. And so Vince Sabatino, like I said, it's his business. I just work for him, and he's actually next door to me in the office right over here. And so Virtual Rabbit was the original name of that business. He did that for about, I'd say 5-6 years. And then in 2013, 2014, Google introduced what's called the See Inside program. And so if anyone is familiar with the Google Street View car, it's just a very awkward looking sedan with a large camera on top of it. And what that does is it maps out your location based on the roadmap. And so as the Google car comes down, it finds your library, it connects that image to you, and now you suddenly have an image on your Google business profile. And so in 2013, Google decided to hire independent photographers across the US, and Vince jumped on board to become the first Iowa photographer. So Virtual Rabbit was a little bit outdated. Google Street View uses HTML5 and the Google business profile. And so Google hired Vince to do that See Inside panoramic photography. And Midwest Pano, the agency, was born. And so now, as of last year, I was hired on as, like I said, Director of Operations. And so me and this amazing team that we have here have come in to talk with businesses, talk with libraries, talk with YMCAs, nonprofits via Zoom call. We do this all the time, every day, but we're basically just here to kind of give you guys an idea about just how important that Google business profile is and what we can do to really help out and kind of get you some more information and optimize that for you. And then obviously we do absolutely love to showcase the virtual tours that we create as well. And so that is just a little bit of history about our company. So a little bit of background on libraries and how that all came to be. So the first library that we worked with, I met at a chamber event. It was here in central Iowa in Ames. And so that was really what got us into working with libraries in general. And we came to find out a lot of unique things about their strategic plans, which Niall will kind of talk about later. But since then, last summer, we have worked with over 70 libraries between Iowa, Missouri, and Illinois. And we started to really look into doing that because not only do libraries have a really unique space that has developed and gotten, insanely different over the last 25, 30 years, but it's just a very rewarding experience to see how a library can utilize a virtual tour to encompass their space and actually share it with their patrons and just be really proud of that. And so that is how we started working with Iowa libraries. We ended up getting partnered with the Iowa Library Association earlier this year. And so that really got us into working with surrounding states. We attended a Missouri Directors Conference in early June, got to present that as well. And then now we're getting to do a new network. And so we've worked with over 70 libraries in the last 12 months. And again, it's just something we're really proud about. And so just to kind of go back to the libraries that we have worked with in Illinois, we've completed several tours. We'd really just started working with you guys maybe about 4 months ago. But some of the ones that I've personally had the pleasure of working with, I've worked with Brianna Bone at the Elmhurst Public Library, Miriam at the Aurora Public Library. We've got a lot of other libraries that are looking to get their tours, done and back in Millie's hands. I know that Niall got to work personally with O'Fallon and Smithton, but these are just some of the libraries that we've either already done a tour for or talked with on a Zoom call about their business profile. And then some of them are coming soon, haven't been quite shot yet. And so these are just some of the libraries that can kind of vouch for our services and what we're like on the Zoom call, what it's like to work with us on a professional matter.
So yeah, kind of like Holly was saying. So we all know that we've talked with a ton of different libraries and that each library is unique in its own sense, but we have kind of realized that across the board, even in Iowa, Missouri, and now in Illinois as well, that some of the biggest strategic goals of things that libraries are trying to achieve are diversity, inclusion, equity, and accessibility. Those are kind of the biggest things that we've seen that libraries are trying to achieve and trying to work towards. And being able to have just a Google virtual tour on your Google business profile is going to really help to achieve all of these goals, especially in that accessibility aspect, since you're really just growing your entire visual and online accessibility by showcasing your library online, which is really just going to help showcase all of everything else you're doing to achieve those goals of diversity, inclusion, and equity, since you are able to showcase what you are doing in your library directly online where everyone is going to find you.
Yeah, so the strategic goals, we're lucky to work with so many libraries who are really transparent about those strategic goals. And I think they want the community to know just what they're doing to get these resources out to everybody. And so we're able to kind of take a look at those and decide how can a platform like what we have support and maintain and even enhance how you guys are working towards those strategic goals. And so thank you now for going over that. So just to kind of start out the presentation, we really wanted to break this down and incorporate not only just Google, but also, how our platform can help with Google and what there is, to know about Google that you might not have known before. And so Google is a very vast thing. It's the #1 search engine. It's Google Street View, it's maps, but it's also your business profile. And so I'm going to go ahead and kind of go from here and start to talk about, why it's important to optimize that Google business profile, what the business profile even is, how you can log in, and then reviews, photos, Google posts, things that you can add in for free, just using Google's very own business profile technology. So one of the most important things when we talk about a Google business profile is having up-to-date information. And so if anyone is familiar with Google, you can access Google from you can access from Safari, Firefox, Google Chrome, no matter what kind of, platform you go into it from, whether you're using a, cell phone, tablet, desktop, everyone is going to search for your business, be you a hair salon, a restaurant, a woodworking shop, or a public library. They're going to search for you first on the #1 search engine platform, and that's Google. And so while there's these amazing platforms like social media that we can use to get out graphics, get out times, update information, we want to be most relevant on Google because that's where people are finding you guys first. And so having up-to-date information is the most important thing that you can do. And the reason for that is because Google constantly has an algorithm that's working to crawl your business site. So not just your Google profile, but your website, your social media, and it is tracking those changes in information. So if you don't constantly go in and add new information or change information, or even update anything on there, Google is going to take notice of that. And it's going to assume that as a business, you are not, out there and inaccessible online. And so it is going to rank you lower in those search engine results. And so for a public library, that is a little bit unique because there isn't as much competition, locally in your area. But there could be when it comes down to the programs that you guys are trying to get out there. So having good program rates, having people attend in person circulation, this is going to affect how people view your business online. And so Millie has some great examples up here. Again, I'll be using Elmhurst and the tour that we did for them today to talk about just kind of showcasing a virtual tour to you guys. They have an absolutely beautiful library and it was wonderful to work with them. But just to show you a not up-to-date public library versus an up-to-date public library. So when you do a Google search, whether it's specific or organic, you're going to have this business profile pull up. And so you'll notice on the left-hand side, the little library, I believe this is just a library out of Georgia. Again, we do work out down there. And so little library is a specific library, but you'll notice for their business profile, they only have a few things on here. They have one photo, and it's the photo that Google took for them with that Street View card. There is no website attached. There is an address, again, provided by Google based on the Street View car location, but you'll notice that there's no phone number, no business hours, no website, and it doesn't look like anyone's managing this profile. And if we can compare that library next to Elmhurst Public Library, who has a lot of photos, an accurate Google Maps location, 194 Google reviews, open hours. I know it's cut off, but you'd be able to go in here and see just all of the busy hours, phone numbers, all the up-to-date information that they have on here. And so your library has a Google business profile. And if you're going to go in and, access this, you can actually click, if you look on the left on the little library in the blue, there's suggest and edit, and then there's own this business. And so if you were to ever want to go in and actually claim your business, or if your email wasn't the one associated, I highly suggest that you guys do this. And what that's going to give you access to is Google's going to send you some sort of snail mail authentication to say that you are the director or the business director and that you can update this profile for the library. And from there, you're able to log in, look at your Google Analytics, and actually add things like photos and relevant information so that Google can rank your business as relevant. And so kind of moving on from that, we're going to get into, how to include, keywords, phrases, things like that. And so when Google is crawling your business, they're going to look for different things that are going to attach to the Google business profile. So they're going to look for your website, they're going to look for Facebook, but there's a lot of things that you can add just into the Google business profile that are going to help make you guys more searchable. And so that keyword search is going to be applicable because you guys as a library aren't just a public library, you're a public library that offers very specific services to patrons, whether it's copy, fax, and printing, children's story times, teen areas, teen programs, adult and youth services, book clubs. I could kind of go on and on because I've again, every library is unique, and at this point it's been a year in, so I could go from, ambassador pets to fish tanks. There's a bunch of stuff that we could do here. And so there's a ton of things that we want to add in here and that you can add in here to help increase that search engine process. And just talking about the different search engines, we're going to talk about Google and how you can do what's called a specific versus an organic search. And so what Millie has in here is basically the difference between the two. And so if you were to look up libraries near me, if I was near the Elmhurst area, Elmhurst is going to pop up very quickly because that Google business profile is updated and it's relevant, and they have those keywords and phrases. They now have those tour photos that rank so highly. And so libraries near me is an organic search because people are looking for something close to them that is a library. But that, and that can kind of go towards Google Maps. If you look below that one, I'm looking up summer reading program. And so here in Story City, there are a couple different things and websites that show up. And it's very important that the library is in that first page of search. And if not third, like this one, then hopefully first or second, because we want the library to be the #1 place that patrons are going to look for a summer reading program or whatever it is that they're looking to find in terms of a, free or easy to find resource. And so when we have those keywords and phrases, those are the things that we want Google to associate with the library. A specific search, on the other hand, would be like me typing in the Elmhurst Public Library into a Google search bar. And then hopefully if Elmhurst has their profile updated, which I know Brianna does, it's going to come up right as the first search engine response. And so talking about those organic searches like libraries near me or summer reading program, we want to take words like summer reading program or copy fax machine, and we want to put them into things like Google posts, social media platforms, a lot of different areas where you guys have the opportunity for free to just have Google associate those things with your business profile. And so if everyone's familiar with Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, these are all social media profiles that you can put keywords and phrases in. So you guys are constantly uploading graphics and fun summer reading activities, different STEM kits that you guys are offering. And so what we can do is we can add those keywords and phrases into what we call a Google post. And a Google post is just exactly what Facebook is. You could basically put an image, you could put a picture like we have here. And so this is our Midwest Pano Google posts. And so if you were to Google us or Google something that Millie is talking about in here, comfortability, comfort visiting a space, explore their tour, any keywords and phrases that we have in a Google post. The way to add to this is to go log into your business profile and then click add Google post. And so you can literally copy and paste what you have in Facebook. And again, this is going to help Google find you in the search engine process. And so Google posts are free to use. They are in your business profile, and they are going to help increase your search engine ranking. So this would be where you can see the Google posts here, and you can click on add and update. And so Google posts are a huge, great way, along with linking your social media to your account in order to kind of get the benefit here. The other thing that you guys can do would be to increase your kind of review campaign. And so this is a slightly kind of different feature here. So obviously when I visit a restaurant or when I visit a hair salon, I'm going to be looking for two specific things right off the bat. We're very visual people. And so the things I'm going to look for are good reviews. And then I'm also going to be looking for relevant images. What am I going to expect when I come in here? We can kind of, blame this on, a post-COVID world that we live in, or we can talk about just this new generation of internet explorers who are going on, and we need to see these things before we visit in person. It's very important to us that we can be comfortable with a space, we can know it's a safe space, and that we know that we're going to have a good experience when we're there. And so having a very high review campaign launch or having good Google images is going to be very important. And so I'll talk a little bit about some different campaign ideas that you could put out there to get more reviews. I'm going to have Millie kind of show you how to leave a review or to have people find how to leave a review for you. So if I wanted to have someone leave us a review on Midwest Pano, you could go to your own business profile, click get more reviews, and it's going to just give you a link. And so what you can do with this link is you can copy it, you can put it into a QR code to launch on a Facebook post. You could have it on a bookmark that you print out and hand out, laminated bookmarks at the library so that people can leave you a review. You can have a QR code just sitting on the circulation counter, or even an iPad setup where you can say, hey, before you check out, did you have a good experience? Was this your first time? Just having the staff be super friendly, having that review campaign right there, either in a tablet or a QR code, something to kind of get the word out there that you guys are looking for those positive Google reviews. And again, this can be something that patrons can find all throughout the library on some of those, graphics that you put out there, or you could just put this on a simple social media post or an e-newsletter. But these are all super great things that you can do to increase those reviews. And so reviews would be the first thing, and one of the things that I would, look into doing to enhance your business profile and get better search results. And then photos are the next kind of phase of this. And so what we do is really unique because we are Google certified panoramic photographers, and we are ranked as a level 10 attribution string. And so I'll go ahead and toss this off to Niall so that he can talk about the difference between what we do for photos and then what typical photos would look like on your business profile.
Yeah, so almost exactly as Holly was saying, Google is going to be the main way that everyone is finding you. There is no more Yahoo or Bing or anything like that, really. It's all going to be through Google. And so the more that you can promote yourself on Google, the better everyone is going to be able to find you. And so kind of going off of what she said as well, of reviews and photos being the two biggest things that anyone looks for when searching for a business or a library. Having these updated panoramics are going to be one of the best ways to showcase your space. And so I kind of like to compare these panoramics to a fidget spinner, if anyone's familiar with that. And the reason I like to do that is really just because these panoramics are interactive. And so what that means is that it's just going to be able to hold the attention of anyone looking into the library a lot more. And that's just because it gives them the opportunity to click around, move, explore, and really just get a good feel for your space and see everything that you have to offer. And so what that's doing is actually just going to be holding their attention on your library a lot more and actually bring in more traffic to the website as well. And so I believe Millie does have pulled up the Google page just about why these panoramics are so important. And so Google itself even has a program going out right now called Grow with Google, where they are actually going to Main Street businesses and Chamber of Commerce to promote this service. And it's really just about showing your business inside and out so that people get a better feel, a more personalized feel, and give a little bit more life to the library. Since, kind of like Holly was saying as well, you guys are so much more than just books these days. You are so much more program driven. You're almost the hub of the community, and being able to showcase that directly on that Google business profile is going to be the best way of showcasing your space, since that's going to be the first place that everyone is looking for you. And so here are actually all of the panoramics that we added for Elmhurst Public Library. And if you can see on them, Millie goes back and click on one again. In the top left-hand corner, it'll actually be the Midwest Pano attribution string. And so that's going to be because we are the ones publishing this to Google for you, since we are that Google certified photography agency. And the benefit of that is, since we've done so many of these panoramics and created so many virtual tours, we are actually a level 10 ranked Google photographer, which just means that since Google has seen so much of our quality work, they are actually ranking us typically right about their standard, actually. And so that is actually going to just make us higher ranked than other photographers, or even if you guys uploaded images to that Google business profile yourself. And that's just because Google has seen so much of our work, knows that it's good quality. They trust us since we are that Google certified agency. And so they're going to rank those photos higher than either a patron uploading a still image or anything like that. And so this is going to just be one of the best ways to showcase everything you guys are doing inside the library, to really just focus on all of those strategic goals that you're trying to achieve. And so that's just kind of the Google side of things. But what's really awesome, and that something that wasn't always around, is actually our proprietary back-end platform. And so this gives us a way to actually share this tour on the website, on social media, and really customize it to guide any patrons through this tour. And so I think Millie has the Elmhurst tour actually pulled up here. And so this is the back-end hosted tour that you're seeing now. So this is actually made up of all of those panoramic images that were inside the Elmhurst Google Business profile, just into one consolidated and rich tour experience that they're able to share out on their website and on social media. And so with this hosted tour, we're able to customize it out and really just cater to any needs of the library. And so as you can see, we have this navigation menu on the left-hand side and these fun little things that we like to call hotspots that are sitting around as well. And so the hotspots, they are fully customizable with whatever information you want to put in them. And so you can actually put different text, different images, videos, and actually links back to different landing pages, either on your website or on another website of maybe different resources or programs that you guys are working on. And so the biggest benefit of this is that you're just able to showcase everything that's going on and actually promote all of your different services and programs to your patrons who might not know that you guys have this cool stuff going on. I mean, kind of like I said, I thought libraries were still just a big old building for books, but you guys are so much more than that now. And being able to highlight everything that you're doing to the community and these hotspots and this navigation menu is really just going to help build that personality of the library and show off what makes you guys unique. Since every library is so different, and we have seen these hotspots be used in every sort of different way, from promoting expansion project, asking for donations, just showing off different things in the library, like where the book return is or where the bathrooms are. We even have libraries use it to showcase all of their different policies that happen. I mean, I can go on and on about different ways that libraries have used this, but it's really just going to be to show off what makes your library unique and everything that's going on currently.
All right, and so our backend platform, just to kind of add into this, there's some things that Elmhurst used really well. So talking about links to different pages on their website so people can actually know where to go, not just see the bike rack, but how to get a bike lock. So there's a ton of different resources on here that you're seeing. Some of the ones that we haven't even showcased yet would be like adding in your Facebook chat plugin. So being able to chat with a library directly from the virtual tour that they're either seeing on website, seeing on an e-newsletter you guys put out, whether they're seeing it on a social media post. Every way you can think to share this tour, you can share it, because honestly, it's just a link. So having it on your website is a huge asset, and it adds into those Google Analytics and statistics, which Niall will talk about here shortly. But there's a lot of other resources on here that we don't often get to talk about, like adding the tour into a different language. We can put it into Spanish or a different language like that. If your regular, library website is not currently utilized for that, we can make the tour utilized for that. We can add in things like floor maps. And so for Joplin Public Library in Missouri, this was a huge resource for them, because wayfinding is a very common theme and plan and goal for libraries right now, so that people can have an accessible way to look at a library without just having to read content about you guys or look at still images. Still images, like he compared to a fidget spinner, they're not interactive, they're not clickable, they're not draggable. And so this is giving people a self-guided, autonomous way to view your library without having to hit pause and play on a video, or without having to just look at a still image and hope that they know where that location is. And so this is really what sets this backend platform apart from just normal panoramic photos that you could potentially take with a cell phone or something. But ours are going to be ranked a little bit higher. And then obviously this is going to be a huge asset for your website and for that neurodivergent community that needs these visual resources to feel comfortable before going into a space. So this would be an example of having like a YouTube video, and you could link a YouTube video of story times or past story times, different expansion projects to get donations if you guys are looking to do, you know, a different review. And so again, all of this leads back to a statistics tracker, and I'll have Niall kind of go back into that.
Yeah, so I see Millie pulling it up here. And so I know library directors and marketing directors for libraries are typically pretty numbers driven people. And so this is almost their bread and butter and what they love to see. And so this is actually a statistics dashboard of everyone who is viewing that hosted tour. And so this is actually a breakdown of the past 30 days for the Bertha Bartlett Public Library here in Story City, where our offices are located. And so over the last 30 days, she has seen over 1,300 people view her tour, which, being in a small town of about 3,000 or so, that is just astronomical of the amount of views that she sees on this tour. And even if we kind of change this breakdown of any 30 days that we see, we typically see Bertha Bartlett Public Library seeing about 30 to 50% of the community viewing her tour any given 30 days. And what's awesome is it does actually give a breakdown of total viewers versus unique viewers as well. So within the last 30 days, she has seen almost 500 people view her tour for the very first time. And so that's what that unique viewers are first time viewers. And so then what's also super nice about this is that it does actually give a breakdown of where they're viewing the tour from, when they're viewing that tour, what device they're viewing the tour on, since the tour is completely device responsive. And so you can take this tour on either mobile, desktop, a tablet, really anything that you can get on the internet with. This tour will be responsive to that device. And then what you can also see is that refer link. And so that is actually going to be where they're finding that hosted tour. So if you had that tour shared out on, say, a Facebook post versus just having it hosted on the website, you can actually see where that person found the tour from. Did they find it from that Facebook post or just directly on the website? And so that can also kind of help to track which one of those outreach methods are actually performing the best for your library.
All right, thanks, Niall. So in kind of a short stint here. So obviously we do want to open up the floor to questions at this time. I'll kind of do a little bit of a thank you spiel here as well. I mean, Tam, I really appreciate you letting us come on here to not only talk about what makes our services different and unique for a library, but really to let us talk about the Google business profile. Google, like I said, it really is that number one place that people are finding you guys. And so if there's so many things that you guys can be doing to optimize this on your own time, using Google's free resources that they're already providing you as a business. And so having Google posts, getting in there, checking out the different things you can add, there's a ton of fun things that you might not know about or have heard about. And so if you don't currently run that business profile, I would love for you guys to each go into your own business profile. Again, Google your own library, click own this business, and make sure that that's your email. Make sure that you guys have that down as part of your every 30 days. Just take a look at it, change some things up on the website, change some things up on the Google profile, add a mission statement, talk about your core values, and then add in those keywords and phrases so that when people and patrons are searching for your resources, they might not know that it can be found at the library, but they definitely should. And so Google is just a fantastic way to like bring it all together. Our resources, just to recap, when we as a panoramic Google photography expert take your pictures for you, the whole process for a large library like Fountaindale or Elmhurst, it might take us a few hours. We'll coordinate that with times that patrons are not there so that nobody's having to get in their way or our way. We really make that a soft experience for everybody. It's very hands-off for you guys, so you're not having to do a lot of workload on this, kind of take some of that stress away, especially after summer reading. I think everyone just wants a break, so why not do an easy project like this one? On top of that, that attribution string for us, it's ranked that level 10. So between Vince Sabatino's attribution and Midwest Pano's attribution, we've been doing these photos for 10 plus years with just Google's See Inside Street View, and then 15 years in total, 5 years before that. So we have a lot of history here. We've been doing it a long time. You're going to get the better quality of that. And again, having pictures that are taken by a Google certified photographer, it ranks higher than if a patron were to leave a review photo, or even if yourself were to upload a photo. We rank just as highly as the library itself. And so the more you can add in there, the better Google can crawl your space. It's going to find those pictures and it's going to put a big green checkbox on those pictures for you. On top of that, you're able to have it on your website now. This is technology that's not new, but definitely improved. And so we want you guys to get the experience, and for your patrons to get the experience, to walk through your space, get comfortable, understand what they're going to be seeing when they get there, and just make it a very exciting experience for everybody. And so at this point, I think we'd love to open up the floor to questions. And Millie, are you still with me?
Hey, Holly. Yep, I'm still here.
Gosh. Okay, perfect. I'm going to mute you a little bit. All right.
Yeah, so we got a couple questions popping in. Some people are super grateful for just the free resources and everything. So that's great. We love helping you guys out and just letting you know what you can do. I did get, just to address this first, somebody said the QR code wasn't working. I did just make a change to that. So maybe go in and try it one more time. Otherwise, we will be sure to get just that form over to Tam and she could send that out. Otherwise, we can also try to send it out to you guys. But yeah, we did have a question just asking about the financial range for our resources.
Absolutely. Perfect. So I did want to go ahead and address this at the end of the presentation. Again, I wanted this presentation to be a lot more resourceful in terms of what you guys can do for free, more education based. But if you guys are looking to do a panoramic tour like this, I did want to offer a discount for the next 30 days after this new network webinar. Again, I want this to be really beneficial for everyone. And so panoramic images are $50. And we do that for nonprofit pricing. We do it for YMCAs, which is a longtime client of ours. And then we also do it for public libraries. And so that's about 25% off of what it would normally cost for a library to do this. So that is our pricing after the summer reading is now done, $50 for a panoramic. And just to kind of give yourself an idea of that range, if you are like Bertha Bartlett Public Library here in Story City, it's about 9,000 square feet. We maybe needed to take 15 to 20 panoramic images to get from the start street view side of things, so that like you can see yourself entering into your space. We can blue line it to the street view car so that people can click on your business and go see inside. So that's the first image is out front typically, or on, you know, wherever the parking lot is for people to know which entrance they should go into. And then we really make just a very direct path. So you'll notice if you take a tour of Joplin, or if you take a tour of Elmhurst, when Brianna gets that on the website, we're not going to walk through every bookcase. We're not going to walk into the bathrooms or the maintenance closets, or really usually even the staffing offices. We're really just going to go in a sense that it makes sense to walk, if that's an understanding. So again, for a smaller library, you can really expect that to be anywhere from 15 to 20 panoramics. For a medium-sized library, I'd say let's kind of account for 45 to 60. And then for larger libraries with that larger square footage footprint, or for even some extra outdoor resources that we wouldn't normally account for, that could be a little bit of a larger project. And so what I love to do after webinars is with that QR code Millie put out there, hopefully that we can get to you guys sooner, that's going to be a great opportunity for us to connect after, and for you to just say, hey, my library is this big. Could you give me kind of an estimate about what this project would look like? And so the great part about the panoramic photos is that once they're taken once. That return on investment, it lasts hopefully for the next at least 5 to hopefully 10 plus years. And so those will stay on Google forever. The backend platform is the only other thing that we have that would be a cost. And so you guys are tax exempt as nonprofits. We do not charge for travel. Our photographer actually stays with his in-laws when he goes to Chicago. So we try to eliminate all of the extra costs for you guys. The backend platform that Niall spoke about today, the one where we can take your Google photos, put them on your website, make it customizable, add the hotspots, put it in a different language, everything that you can think of with the wayfinding, the shareability, the statistics dashboard, that's $289 a year. And so that envelops, that's the only annual cost that we have moving forward. It's totally optional. So ever in the future, if you were looking to get renovations and didn't want to have those current tour photos on your website any longer, we could deactivate that at any time. So those are the two costs I have. And what I wanted to offer post what new network was an additional 5% off of the entire project for anybody that was interested or knew of a library that was interested. So even if you guys didn't want photos taken this month, we'd love to extend that 5% for you guys, as long as you just let me know. Really, anything additionally?
Great. I was just having back in. No, that was the only question. We just had another pop in that asked if there's a code for the 5%.
Nope. New network. You can just new network. So whether you email me, use the QR code, Tam has all of the information. So some way we're going to get you guys everything. I can even put my personal email and contact into the group chat right now, but I can go ahead and put that in there. So yeah, if you guys just want to email me, or actually I'll even put Niall in here because he is I get busy. And so, yeah, no, Niall's going to be perfect. So here's the link to the QR code. Here's Niall's email, niall@midwestpano.com. And then now if you want to put your phone number in there, just go ahead and give everybody an idea about how they can get in contact with you. But no, if anything, Illinois, new network, TAM, you could throw out, you can throw out anything you want to and it'll work. We're a small company, so. All right, and I think there's
Any other questions?
I'm looking at the
there were
Q&A.
a couple in the Q&A.
Okay. How do I remove an existing See Inside tour? That's an amazing question. Major reno, final result will be drastically different. Okay, so what you're going to do with that, you're going to go into your business profile. So that login I talked about, you're going to log in either as the director, marketing director, whoever's email is associated who needs to log into that. If you don't know whose it is, then you need to tell Google that you are now the account recovery person. And so that way they can verify you. That could process with Google, could take about a month. It just depends. Usually they'll just send you like a snail mail, like I said, a thing to say, did you ask for this stuff? And you're like, yes. And you send a verification. They might call you. It could be different. Not sure how it works as of right now today, but it's been a bunch of different varieties of outreach. And so when you go into your Google business profile, you're going to click on those panoramic photos and you're going to say, you're going to flag them. And so you can flag them as inappropriate. You can flag photos as no longer relevant, or you can say, this is not my business. If we're talking about just Google Street View image of you, for example, LSF Brookfield Public Library, absolutely gorgeous new library, but their Google Street View currently shows construction, not even a building is there, or it shows the old building. I can't remember which one. So the only way to get rid of that photo would be to request the Google card to come to you and redo your stuff. And so to do that, that website Millie pulled up, google.com/streetview/business. That is how you can go in there, find out where the Google car is going to be. And then there should be a request in there somewhere. So the Google Street View, we can go ahead and upload all of our images. And so it would hide the old Google Street View one. But what Google is physically for you guys taking on their maps location, it's almost impossible to flag what Google as a company does for you versus us. And so that would be my recommendation, would be to check in with Google Street View car, and that's google.com/streetview/business. And you should be able to find that link pretty easily that way.
I just dropped it in the chat too.
Okay. And then yes, so like a $50 per panoramic image. And so that $50 is going to be a single, like you stand in the middle, you spin around. So a medium to large size library in Illinois, I'd say would be around could be $27.50, and upwards. And so what I will say to that is what we try not to do with those pictures is like walk through walls. So if you guys are really interested in having us come out, but you have a specific budget in mind for that project, just let me know, be transparent about what we can do for your costs, because there's a lot of things as a small business that we can do to like actually go out and only take the amount of photos that you're requesting. What we want to make sure of, like I said, is that we're not walking through walls, giving patrons a warped idea of how to get from point A to point B. And so that's really dictating how many pictures it would cost. And like I said, we're super, super flexible on invoicing. So if this is something you guys would want to break up over time or get a photo shoot for done in the future, but do want to work with us specifically, we can do a lot of things to make all of that work for you. My mouth is dry. All right. Did anyone is there any more questions that we can think of, guys? I'm thinking I think I about did them all. These were great questions. I love questions on a webinar. All right. Well, Tam, like I said, I wanted to say thank you again so much. I want to say thank you to all of the libraries who have worked with us so far. I know we showed Elmhurst today. Brianna and her team worked diligently all last week to make sure that those hotspots were updated. They really loved that we could share their tour on this webinar. On top of that, we've got a bunch of libraries that were in that list earlier that we're excited to start sharing with you guys as soon as their hotspots get done. It's a really easy hands-off process, and it does affect your Google ranking because we are that certified photographer. So we would love to work with you guys, or even if you just have some questions or want to get an estimate, Niall is going to be your go-to guy, or myself, Holly at MidwestPano.com would work too. So just a huge shout out, big thank you to Tam and her team at ILA for making this work. We'd be super excited to continue, working with ILA, and I think that kind of concludes the presentation. Anything else from you, Niall?
I think that's pretty much everything. I'm super glad at this opportunity. This is the first real big webinar conference I've been able to present to as well. So I am just excited all around to be able to reach out to so many different libraries and be able to present this awesome information to you all.
You did a great job, buddy. All right. Tam, is there anything else you need from us?
No, I just wanted to thank everyone for joining us, and thank you, Holly, Niall, and Millie, especially Millie, for the wonderful slides. They are incredible. She did an excellent job. I wanted to give her a little shout out because they were great. All for joining us, and thank you to Midwest Pano for the wonderful presentation. Thank you all, and have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, Tam.
Thank you so much.